So next up on the list, and this is something where I wish I had more of, so it's pictures of loved ones. So that can be wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband,
Parents, like
all of the above.
all the above. Yeah. Animals, like I got some pictures of my pets.
Yeah,
like
all of it helps. I took a beverage bag and covered it with 100-mile-an-hour tape, and then put that in the folder that I kept my notebook in, and just each night pull it out, look at it, remember why you're there. Helps a lot for the next day.
Did y'all write a lot while y'all were there?
All the time.
I was surprised. So I was someone who told myself, "Oh, I'm not going to write that much." But then I told my wife over Darby, "Hey, send me some writing materials," because it actually is, and I bought some writing materials. It's kind of nice, especially in the mountains. You're going to have a lot more time than you think to be able to write. Darby, you won't get that much time to write. Plus, in my mind, you get Darby Pass. It's right around the corner. Mm-hmm. Like, you get through that FTX, you get Darby Pass regardless if you're a go or no go. Mm-hmm. But when you're going through mountains in Florida, like, it's nice to be able to have some form of communication. I wrote a lot more than I thought it would at Ranger.
Something that helped me stay awake as well is you're on security, just pull out your notebook and have all the stuff that you need to have memorized on a page close by so you can flip to it easily. But then on another page, just writing down your thoughts, experiences, stuff to remember for later, where you want to eat on Darby Pass. I did that a lot.
Yep. And funny enough, the next item, song lyrics. Never thought I would want song lyrics, but we had a buddy in our squad who brought some song lyrics, and he was actually a decent singer, so that helped too. But in terms of myself, like, I would try to think of songs, and I was like, I just can't remember how that song goes.
Yes, you sing a decent amount. It's kind of surprising.
You'll keep yourself, like, I'm slowly going insane at night because it's like, 3 a.m, and we've been walking for a couple hours, and I'll just start singing a song to myself quietly. I'm not breaking, security, but it's nice to have, like, just something you can look back so you can kind of remember how those lyrics go.
Yeah, and help you keep you awake, help keep you from droning.
Yep.
Just be careful who's around, because somebody got recycled for sinking.
Really?
That graduated with y'all. I'll tell you that later.
Okay, that's fascinating.
He had gotten a goat on his look, had gotten a great AAR, and then somebody said something, and it triggered a song. He started singing the R.I. Heard, and the next morning, everything went from thumbs up to thumbs down. Wow. I mean, it only took him 191 days to graduate.
Holy cow. So yeah, be careful.
Sing in your head.
Sing in your head. It's going back to kind of items, microfiber towel.
Mm-hmm.
Not really much to say why. I mean, I guess it just works better than a normal towel, and it stays drier longer.
Yeah.
Did you take one or two?
I brought two big towels and two little towels, and I always had those little towels inside my rucksack for Darby and Mountain, and then in swamps when I knew I was going to get more wet.
Uh-huh.
I had one large one. And another nice thing about those microfiber towels, they're very light.
Mm-hmm. And they take up a lot less room.
Yeah, you can fold them up real tiny.
So next, jumbo Ziploc bags. I never knew these existed. They make massive Ziploc bags. Those are going to be nice when you get down to like Florida. And I swear I saw someone who had a Ziploc bag where it was a jumbo Ziploc bag that had a little air seal at the bottom where you undo the air seal and you can compress it and then close that seal back up. Don't know what brand it was.
Yeah, probably just Ziploc, but yeah, you are going to want all your stuff as waterproof as possible because you're getting in the water with your ruck and it's going almost entirely underwater. So everything's got to be waterproofed, and you might have to be the RTO for that swamp movement, which you're going to need the big ASIP battery or the big ASIP waterproofed as well and stovepiped in your ruck. So
I will say we just found and have got to get more, but we found 4 mil double double lock.
Yeah,
I've had people
that's
actually
what you
put
want.
air in them and stand on with both feet. And I've never had a bag bust.
Mm-hmm.
I've had the seal blow. And all you did was reseal it.
Yeah,
That's legit.
you're using your ruck to partially support your weight when you're doing those gap crossings. So.
Did y'all have anybody whose bags were compromised when y'all were in Florida?
Yes, mine.
Was it really?
What happened?
So here's what happened is I was told when we got down there, someone's like, oh yeah, pack it all the way up, but don't worry about the top being like completely waterproof. And so I had 2 contractor bags, and the way I packed my ruck was, it was my 2 contractor bags, sleep system at the bottom, a waterproof bag that's tied up with like spare uniform, stuff like that, and then another waterproof bag that was tied up, and then my helmet. Now with all that kind of stacked, and then my spare boots right there. With all that stacked up, my contractor bag didn't necessarily fit around it. But I was told, don't worry about it, because when you go across, and I'm a tall guy, your ruck stays upright, so it doesn't matter. All right, cool. So I was the point man, and when you're the point man, you're the first man who crosses. You don't cross with your rucksack, so you have to rely on your platoon to keep your rucksack upright. And when they cross it, if you're low on time, like that may not happen, and plus just the way the water and the way the buoyancy works, it may flip over. I didn't think about that until half the platoon was across, and I was like, oh shit.
How much weight did you have in your contractor bags with the water?
It was bad. So it was, I remember I sadly saw my rucksack get floated towards me top down, and when I got it upright, like I fell over trying to get it on because it was so much weight, and like it was, because then after that we still had to move, and I remember it was like almost seeing stars. Like it was just so much freaking weight, plus all the other equipment that I had in there. Eventually, when we stopped to do like the safety check, I quickly dumped out, and it was a lot of water. So I guess caution there to prevent that is A, either don't be the first person, or B, have individual compartments, because the worst part is that one of my bags did break. And so I had an entire set, and luckily I waterproofed everything inside that bag except for a couple items. So my spare underwear was double waterproofed. My spare socks were double waterproofed, but my uniforms and t-shirts weren't. So I actually had to borrow a t-shirt from someone, and then I had one uniform in the other wet weather bag that was not compromised. But what also sucked was that inside that bag I had my silks and my waffles and a lot of stuff that got soaked, and I had to dry it out the next day. And it wasn't really sunny, so they didn't really get that nice. Luckily, Florida phase for us was really nice in terms of weather, so I didn't need it to survive.
Yep.
But that was a really poopy day.
One of the RIs years ago, when I asked him for feedback, the first thing he said was, if you've got to take 4 pair of socks, 4 t-shirts, put 2 pair of socks and 2 t-shirts in one Ziploc, 2 and 2 in another. So if one of the bags gets compromised, you've got a backup. And I did have a kid years ago that forgot to gooseneck his contractor bags. Mm-hmm. He said during the movement, he was having guys stab knives through his ruck
to drain it,
so the water would drain out of his contractor bag.
Yeah. Holy cow! Yeah. Moving on.
That's awesome.
Smoker's jacket. If you're going in the winter, get a smoker's jacket. It works when it's wet. And even get the smoker jacket, the bottoms.
Mm-hmm.
Bring some. So this is something where at the PX and mountains, I needed some CLP, and I bought some Frog Lube CLP. I've never heard of this brand before. And it's green. It smells kind of funky. But when I used it on the crew served weapons, I thought it worked magic.
Yeah, the 240s are going to stop working a lot, and you're just going to want to dump CLP on them at the end of the day. And having CLP that works really well is going to help your weasel look and your PL, because when you're weasel, that's all that matters is, are the guns working? And if they are, you probably got to go. If they're not, you probably didn't get to go.
Kind of like well sperm.
I think so.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna buy CLP, get some good stuff, and then only use that for like your crew serves, because your M4s they're gonna do their thing.
Yeah, they don't care too much about your M4s if they're working or not. And then if you have a 320 and your M4's not working, just give yourself fire commands and say, 320 dead space, 2 rounds HE, and they're fine with that.
Yeah. I think that's about it for the list of stuff we recommend you go out and get before Ranger School. So next up is going to be the list of items we think you should bring more of.